Game 2, as N Faculty have a 1-game lead over Ninjas in Pyjamas, and Caston is going to be the first ban away.
Again, that's a repeat performance for both these best of three so far. What I would say, though, is even though that first game was dominating, for want of a better word, there from In Faculty, we saw a very similar occurrence as well in the first best of three, where Keyed Stars won the first game very aggressively, and then SK Gaming Prime came back to win the next two. So NIP, they're down, but they're certainly not out. They can pull this one back.
For sure. They're definitely a team that can do that, but the bands that flew on through are going to be Ziggs, Kale, Elise, and Syndra. So taking away quite a few mid, top, and jungle bands there. Mostly mid.
Yeah, mid getting a lot of the attention here in the banning phase. Kale is also a top laner that Alex has been running quite a bit, so it's kind of a double-edged sword there for both mid and top lane against them, so it's a must-ban champion. And yeah, it's pretty much as you'd expect in terms of the bans. Nothing sticking out as of yet.
Nothing too crazy at all. Jack seems to be away as well. It's pretty standard. And there's quite a few picks that are left open that catch my eye. You know, you got Braum, you got Lee Sin. Even though Ku had a pretty rough time on that one. Yasuo's still there too, if anything. Surprised we haven't seen the new Nidalee though. New Nidalee is a pretty good brawler top. I'll just wait to see what they want to pick up. You know, they could just go for their standard comfort picks if they want to. Pick up the Thresh or the Morgana for the support roles. This Mountain had a decent time on the Thresh in the bot lane. Or the top lane, excuse me, because they lane swapped. And that was a really interesting early starting phase of the game for everybody. But Irelia wasn't banned away this time, so Pronbear will just snag up Irelia.
Yep, another Irelia pickup, which is top tier right now at the very top lane. And yeah, that Syndra ban is a direct ban against Power of Evil. I'm a bit surprised he didn't lock it in the first game because it was available for him. And that's not the reason they ended up losing, but still, they went Lulu instead. Regardless, though, I'm a little bit behind you. Have we got the first pick yet?
Yes, it'll be Ko with Lee Sin for Ninja's side.
Okay.
And waiting to see what the next pick is going to be for Nip as Alex hovers over Orianna and locks it in for the Power of Evil.
Alrighty. Okay, so that's a pretty interesting combination. Ku again is going to get his jungler of choice. Now, to be fair, he didn't have much of a chance to have an impact in the first game because of the lane switch-ups and you had the buddy system in effect. So he was pretty much just babysitting his top lane and getting some farm for the first few minutes. And then after that, it was pretty difficult to gank. So can't really blame him for that. They did make some very strange plays, though. I've got to say, Egad, again, if the communication is not on point, if they're not all kind of singing from the same hymn sheet, this could get a repeat performance from Faculty because these guys are tight when it comes to synergy. They're very good as well on their objective-based gameplay, as we saw last time, picking up the first 3 or 4 dragons in quick succession.
Very true, and it looks like the side of In Faculty want to go for that 100% wife steal lane in the Lucian and Thresh as they do lock those in, so Steal back and Mountain are going to be getting those picks. What is Nip going to do to respond? Because Draven, even though he got first blood, it didn't really do all that much for him, considering that he rushed an Infinity's Edge, and I thought it'd be cool and awesome and work really well, but he just got out-tanked, and he couldn't shred through the armor of the opposing champions. They're looking at Darius right now from the side of Nip, but I don't think that'll actually go through. Let's see, what else is really strong that we could see come out of Nip right now? They do need a carry and a support. Could just throw Renekton up top if they want to, or Shyvana. Shyvana's still there, if anything. It's a very simple pick. A comfort pick for Alex if he wants to go for that. And then support-wise or carry-wise, they could just go straight for like a Caitlyn or a Morgana. And Morgana actually does get hovered over and locked in with the Shyvana.
Alrighty, so again, we're going to see... you said Shyvana was locked in, right?
Yes.
Right, so Shyvana against Irelia at top, which is something that we've seen so often over the last few weeks / month, and it's a pretty even laning phase, really. Unless we do get lane switch-ups again, that could potentially take it into a sticky situation for one or the other. But apart from that, this is very comfortable for both teams. Now, and Faculty have the same kind of composition that they were running last time around, where they're going to be able to secure objectives if they do get picks, but Who are the last two picks you got? Have you seen them just yet? For
Not
faculty,
yet. Jarvan's being hovered over from Mountain for obvious in the jungle. Steelback needs to pick up a mid, though, that they already know they're going against Orianna. So could go for like a Lulu. We've seen that time and time again, and there it actually is. So 3 seconds ticking down. It looks like Jarvan and Lulu will be the last two picks for and faculty.
It always cracks me up in chat. People are saying, "Is that Joe Miller?" No, I'm actually not Joe. I get that quite a bit. I met this, and EGAD is the other caster with me today, guys. But hopefully you're enjoying, as you said, some of the other picks getting locked in for both sides. NIP, have they gone for their 5th yet?
And last pick, looking for what Freeze wants to play on the carry role. Looks like he's hovering over Draven. Will he go for the Draven again? That's the real question. Twitch is kind of phasing out with the nerfs. Caitlyn I haven't seen all too much of. And who else is there left? You know, just go for a Quinn or something like that, or a Varus if they really want to be changing up the bot lane fights. But hovering over Caitlyn looks like that could be more feasible. And got 8 seconds to tick down. I feel like that's going to be locked in. Caitlyn, Morgana, probably one of the safer lanes you can run in that bot lane. And there it goes.
All right, so the plot thickens here. Going back to some of their core champions again are NIP. And it's Draven, right? Draven's been locked in. Or is it Caitlyn?
Okay.
It's Caitlyn.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. This is the drawback of casting from stream, guys, and the picks and bans. I'm like about, I think, 10-15 seconds behind. So they're not going to go for Draven again. Now that's pretty interesting because Draven didn't really have a chance to get into the thick of the action last time around because the rest of his team were getting locked down so easily. But Caitlyn, Freeze, this is another one of his go-to AD carries. He can stay on the back lines, and obviously Caitlyn's range is super, super good for getting into close proximity and getting all of those auto attacks down. Plus the fact that now that Power of Evil himself has picked up Orianna, they can make plays out of thin air once Shyvana jumps in, that ball delivery system that we talk about so often. So either way you look at it, NIP coming up pretty strong on picks and bans.
All right, and with that, we hit the spectator delay, so we're going to a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we'll have this potential 2-0 for End Faculty, or, you know, Nip could bring it back and bring it to a game 3. But before that, going to go give a quick shout out to probuilds.net. You check it out for the professional players' builds. If you want to see what Dyrus or anybody else has been playing recently, you know, check out their builds, copy them, and make them work. And also check out Logitech for the greatest headsets, mice, and keyboards that you can find. And we'll be right back.
Carrying coffins.
Alright guys, welcome back to Game 2 of the best of 3 between N Faculty and Ninjas in Pyjamas. I'm Egan, joining me here is Metas, and we're on to the Rift. We'll see if any invades or anything crazy goes on, but N Faculty already have a 1-0 lead over NIP, and that's pretty surprising to me. NIP have been pretty strong lately, but after some rough showings from Ko and Alexich, we'll see if they can bring it back for this game.
Yeah, and it was a bit of a head scratcher that first game for a number of reasons. I mean, Ko wasn't as smooth, he wasn't as active or really apparent from the jungle as we normally like to see. Again, that could be because of the lane switch ups that came about, but still, he made some questionable plays. Same with Alex. Alex at one stage was 0-6 on Yasuo at top lane, and for a lot of that time it was just down to ganks, and a couple of times he actually jumped in first and died for no apparent reason. So I think, judging by the lane and layout, that we're going to have duo lanes at bot. So no 1v2 lanes.
Nothing too crazy. So pause comes in, a little bit of lag for N Faculty, and hopefully it'll get resumed. But yeah, nothing, no lane swaps, nothing crazy. Relic shield start for Mountain, no Doran shield start, and Voidal's going to take that Spell Thief's Edge, get some harass with that. It looks like Obvious is disconnected and reconnected, try to fix it up. But no really difference in items except for the Doran Shield and Doran's Blade up top. Doran's Blade for Alex and Doran's Shield for Prawn Bear, looking to sustain up a little bit more. And a little bit more of an aggressive type build for Alex. But you have to be careful with trading with Aurelia. You said she's been kind of popular and kind of OP lately, so people have been picking her up. And the bot lane match, we're going to be very careful. You know, the Black Shield timing for Voidal has to be on point if he wants to, you know, juke out Mountain's hook, or just make sure that he eats it instead of his partner and freeze. But still gonna wait for Obvious to come back in before anything crazy goes down. I honestly didn't expect N Faculty to take a game over NIP, not gonna lie.
I think a lot of people are in the same boat as you there, Egad, that, you know, coming into this NIP, one DreamHack, they got through, got second place in the Challenger Series. Yeah, and exactly, and interesting enough, actually, N Faculty lost to Reason in the semi-finals, and then NIP beat Reason in the finals itself. So again, you have to say, coming into this, NIP were the strong favourites, but that first game, it was a bit sketchy from them. They made some very uncharacteristic mistakes, and they got punished for it. This time around, I think they have a better composition to kind of make plays. They did lack a bit of an engager last time around if Ko didn't land the Qs and get around behind and make the insect mechanics work. So I do fancy the chances more this time around. Apparently, we're about to unpause as well.
Alright, so we're good to go for this game. Let's see. There it goes. Pause resumes. And we're actually finally out onto the Rift to see what they're going to do. It's probably going to be a blue start for Obvious, and I want to say Ko's gonna start blue himself, so it'll be across from each other. And it looks like with the way he's heading, it'll be that. Voidal and Freeze though, looking for a potential early kind of cheese from sitting in that brush, making sure they catch out Steel back or Mountain if they overextend too far to lane without checking. One binding and a Pilt over Peacemaker is going to be very, very deadly for them, so gonna keep an eye out for that if they do get that off. That could win in the lane. We'll have to see, because Ko is soloing blue buff, so that's gonna hinder his jungling speed a little bit.
Yeah, it will do a little bit. That's gonna be Jarvan probably motoring around towards red a bit quicker. But at bot lane, they wanted to make sure they didn't lose any of the advantages of getting the first few creeps. They didn't want to go into that going level 1 versus 2. And that's one of the pitfalls that can sometimes fall to you when you give a good leash to blue buff as a bot lane, that you do fall slightly behind. And you can now see that Freeze and Voidal, having Caitlyn, having the range advantage, are really trying to push this one home.
Alright. So they already are asserting their dominance, but the minor lead. This is like the first 3 minutes of the game, so it's nothing too crazy just yet. But Ko's already finding his way through the jungle, so is obvious, and the gank potential for the spot side's pretty good. Mountain finds a Death Sentence or a Flay, just like that, but he did take a bunch of damage, so I can't really follow through too far with that. And top side, looks like Alex is just bullying Prawn Bear just a little bit, while Sigma and Power of Evil just go back and forth, as this matchup we've seen 3 to 4 times today, and it's just a passive farm fest for the most part. Ganking a Lulu and an Orianna proving to be quite difficult.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Both kind of quote-unquote support mid laners, that they're not, you know, they're not your Zeds, your Yasuos that are going to go ahead and burst. Obviously, Orianna can do just that. He gets fed. We did see that last time around from Sig. It was another pause comes in. Mountain did just DC. Apparently, he's lagging. So hopefully that's going to be fixed soon. But just going back onto the point, both of them are going to just farm, basically. And it's up to either Obvious's Jarvan or Ko's Lee Sin to make something happen there. The intervention's going to have to come from them.
Yeah, for sure. This is like what we said with Keed and Keed Stars and SK Prime. The junglers are very big, influential parts of it. Broken Shard in the first game had a rough time, and then second and third game he learned that he had to ward and be more aggressive, and that's what he did. So we'll see if Ko can be that aggressive force that Lee Sin can be. I know he can for a fact, because he's a phenomenal player. But we'll see if he can do it in this set. And hopefully Mountain comes back fairly soon, and hopefully the EU servers, don't have the usual hiccup that they normally do, from what I've seen or heard about on Twitter and such.
EU OP, definitely. Let's hope that doesn't happen. That's happened so many times when I've been casting tournaments, and then EUS decides to just stop working. Mountain did just reconnect, as you mentioned there. Whether we're going to get this on pause or not, though, is an entirely different question altogether. So, we are going to hopefully be back onto there soon. There's not much that we can really analyse either, EGAD, because we're 3 minutes through. I mean, nothing's really happened of note.
Yeah, so we'll see if it's affecting Nip as well, because they're saying they need to wait a little bit of a second. As the game progresses, though, like the team fighting potential for the side of Nip, still really good. They have Shackle and Shockwave to go together. Dragus is sent to initiate. Ko could just look for a flash kick. The counter engage, though, from Faculty is pretty good. They have the Cataclysm to go in, so you can just Wild Growth and box to disengage or engage with the Death Sentence. And Steelback had a really good showing last game, too. Even though he was like 0-1 and like 7, he was still playing a good 80 carry supporting role on that Cogwall. We'll see if he can do better this time, pick up kills on the Lucian, but there's a gank in mid.
That's what we're talking about. They need to get something down, and they're playing very aggressive past the tower right now. They do get the first blood, and Ko should be okay to survive from that Ignite. So, already, you can see an NIP come out swinging.
Alright, so this is what they needed from last game, was the high aggression that Ko can put out. So, they do get it, and they do pick up first blood. Down bot, Mountain's getting harassed out. And they are getting some free damage on this tier 1, but not too much just early on. Death Sentence comes through, but not going to connect. And with that first blood, he gets a Chalice. He's going to have a nice little lead in the lane, the Power of Evil on that Orianna. And Ko with the assist picks up a longsword and boots. So looking for that high mobility and high aggressive build.
Yeah, and that Chalice is really significant as well, because the magic resist is going to go a long way to mitigate lots of the damage that Lulu will be firing on out, and then of course the mana regen, so we'll be able to stay in lane for longer. We'll see blue buff going forward in the next few minutes is going to be on the cards as well. But that's what we're talking about. Mid lane needed the gank. Ko comes in, delivers, and now Power of Evil has that mid lane pretty much under wraps unless he makes some big mistakes.
Yeah, there'd have to be some really big screw up to lose that out. But you know, Ko's still lingering around mid. Obvious is going up towards top here. He's gonna try to make the gank out to Alex, who is overextending here. Gonna get stunned up. And the flash will be forced out. They chase down with the dashes, but Prombear can't CC any further. So Alex is able to walk out of there, but he's down a summoner, so it's very dangerous. And Ko's looking to make a gank in mid.
Going in again, and really just being a pain in the backside right now for Ziggu and in faculty. And I gotta say, Alex has been caught from the same gank path time and time again. Obvious goes into the bushes, and then just waits for Alex to overextend and comes in with the gank. It's what we saw last game on Elise at the bot lane. It's what we're seeing again now on Jarvan at the top. And Alex either needs to get some wards down around there or just play a bit more passive until he's strong enough to deal with them.
Alright, and as I look at the farm across the board, a little bit of a lead for Prombear. You know, Ko's got that after the first blood, and then Power of Evil snowballed off that first and found himself a minor lead. And it's just even in the bot lane from Steelback and Freeze, with a little bit of extra money coming in from End Mountain in that Relic Shield, so putting that to good effect, helping out his AD carry. Pinks come through, and Ko looking for some aggressive plays, maybe some aggressive wards. This is already a pink ward in the red side of the jungle for Nip. They're going to be looking to possibly counter out Obvious at his next jungle rotation here, but Ko he's looking to possibly steal some golems or just keep up that ward and make sure it's protected as he looks for a possible flank in Faculty's bot lane.
And this is really, I gotta say, this is the main difference between NIP in Game 1 and Game 2. Like, they've got the drive now, and they've got the momentum behind them to try and make the plays. They're warding deep, as you mentioned. They're trying to get as much confidence as possible on their side and as much vision as well, so that therefore Ko can move around. And he has that extra level of security for him. He's going in behind right now. He knows that Wolf's been picked up, so therefore he's going to call it Obvious as more than likely a top lane, which would be correct. And in actual fact, he's just going to lurk around. Now, Alex has been caught out from the flag and drag. But look at Ko. He is so aggressive this game.
All right. He's just making a home in Obvious's jungle. He's just taking his wolves, taking his golems, just showing no respect for him. And they're going to even look to take the blue here, as it has respawned, but there could be a bit of a collapse, so they have to be very mindful of that. And throws the ball onto him and goes in.
Does Obvious, gets caught. Shockwave as well will be landing. That could be all she wrote for Obvious. But look at this damage from Prombear.
Wow.
They've turned it around the wall growth as well, and it's going to be 2 for Faculty. Oh my dear lord, that was painful to watch for NIP. Alex had to use his Dark Dragon's Ascent just to escape. And on top of everything else, the blue buff was finished by Ziggu.
That was the lack of respect right there, man. You can't just go that deep into a Jarvan's jungle this early on. Jarvan's burst is huge. And Lulu was there to back up with a wild growth, which kept them alive, so props to Ziggu there, keeping Obvious in the fight. And even better response as Prombear was able to respond instantaneously. There's a teleport on bot.
Yeah, there is, and Foil's already been tagged up pretty heavily, courtesy of Lucian. Flash in after the teleport. There's the Ardent Blaze as well from Steelback. Heal to try and get the movement speed in. This should be the last auto attack. There we go. And Steelback will get his first kill of this best of 3 as well, I believe. I don't think he picked up one in the first game. Well, not many anyway.
No, not many at all the first game. So, early teleport paying off. 1-0 and 2 for Prombear on the top of Aurelia with the straight rush on the Berserker Greaves is actually really interesting. The high mobility helped him out to pick up that assist there in that fight. So, never really see people rush boots all too often, but it paid off for sure. And those are really expensive now too, since they increased the cost to I think it was 1,000 gold.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was about that now.
Oh boy!
Oh, you can see Obvious and Cataclysm both coming through.
Oh,
I
nice.
just about survives with the safeguard. Okay, that was smooth moves right there, and does pull himself back.
Yeah, Ziggu missed the Glitter Lance too, and a good command protect from Power of Evil, keeping him relatively safe and making him get out of there. So you're seeing in Faculty now, they're playing better. They're making sure that they don't get invaded all too often. They have a pink ward at the entrance of the ramp to the red buff. No dragons initiated out early this time around, and Faculty are just going to keep their momentum going. Down bot, they are down in CS as Freeze is doing a good job with Caitlyn. Power People's doing a good job against Sigu. They're pretty much tied in kills and deaths, so relatively even lane there. Up top though, Alex, he's found himself a almost 30 CS lead over Brombear, so keeping that Shyvana strong.
Yeah, it's got a nice CS advantage as Q's going to flash up red. But actually it's behind on gold because of Irelia's kill and 2 assists. So it's 2.9k to about 2.8, 2.9 now for Alex. About 100 gold difference, even with that CS advantage in his favor.
Alright. So their backs for both Steel and Freeze. They do pick up the BF swords. And oh, that fight was really close to interrupting the 90 caliber net. They're both actually, Steelback has a lead in the CS margin, but they're going in right now. Jarvan is there.
Going in hard on Voidal. Soul Shackles is going to connect. Nope,
wow.
Actually just gets out of proximity. And there is Jarvan once again. And Faculty have been on point with these counter ganks. And after picking up the kill, well, that's going to be a dragon.
That was really well played by Obvious to come in and just block the ace in the hole from Freeze, and then just pretty much saved his life, and they secure the dragon. No one dies. They pick up a kill, and this is looking like almost last game. But this time, Voidal has the most deaths on this team for now. And like you said, the counter ganks on point. Obvious knows how to play Jarvan apparently, and the timing on his ganks have been perfect. They waited for the Black Shield to be down too. They were like, oh, he used it. I'm just going to go in, and I'm going to pull you with me too. And it worked out. Brombear up top, though, having a rough time against Alex Itch, who is doing way better this game, farming up a Storm, and almost has a Sunfire cape.
Yeah, and as you just saw there, can out-trade Irelia at this stage of the game. So that means Brombear's going to be resigned to his fate underneath the tower. That being said, here comes Ko, and Alex Dragon's Descent goes in, but will actually whiff, doesn't connect, and now Brombear's trying to fight back. He does have his Transcendent Blades. Now might be a good time to use them. There we go. Wow. He's going to get some life back, and he does manage to repel the onslaught in a 1v2. I have to say, though, if Dragon's Descent lands there, it could have been a whole different story.
Yeah, if they would have got that extra bit of burst damage, they could have killed him. But, oh, nice dash from Steelback, and he gets it! Holy cow. Shockering in mid, too.
Yeah, all hell breaks loose. Wild Growth, though, is going to turn it back around. Wow. The Power of Evil does drop. The Ignite's not enough, and Sigu survives only just. 6-1 now to end Faculty.
Alright. So Sigu, playing with fire there, literally gets away just barely with his life. Knowing the extent of that Lulu damage, or just manning up and just 1v1 fighting Power of Evil. We didn't see this at all in the last few games when there was a Lulu versus Orianna. They just kind of sat back all day and poked and prodded. But just going all in. Good job to him. Puts himself at 2-1. Steelback is 3-0 right now, and they're going to go on top.
Flag and drag. Alex doesn't have his Dragon's Descent, doesn't have anything to survive. Had the flash, but it would have been a waste. He will go down, and I've got to give huge props to Obvious here. He has been amazing these last 2 games.
For sure. So, holy crap. He is blowing my mind with this kind of ganks. He's even avoiding going Spirit of the Ancient Golem and just going straight for the Elder Lizard. So just raw damage. He's able to make the ganks highly effective and just crash people out with his burst. For the first backs, Infinity Edges is looking like what is going to be the target for both AD carries. And they'll be looking for those crits later on. The supports, AP difference is going to be Voidal picking up the Frostfang, while makings of towards that face of the mountain for Mountain. Already got the Targans, already got a Sightstone. And Dragon is respawning in a couple minutes, so gotta keep an eye out for that. But 7-1 with a 2,000 gold lead. Looking good for Faculty so far, as they just keep the pressure mounting. Nip is doing what they can, giving the buffs over to who needs them as the Power of Evil gets blue. And they also have a turret advantage, but they're still down in gold, which is a bad sign, because once those turrets start falling on Nip's side and Faculty starts getting them, you'll see that gold just spike in their favor.
Yeah, took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to say the same thing. So even with that turret advantage, they still find themselves under the cost sheet. And Irelia, with the couple kills that have been picked up by Brombear, is now going to get towards a stage where she can start to trade with Alex. So that early game power that he was firing off with the now completed Sunfire Cape is somewhat dissipating, as the Triforce is certainly in the sights of Prombear. Has two of the components, just needs the Zeal to finish that one off, and nearly has enough gold to do just that.
Alright. So, going back. Oh, never mind. Sauce is back. They'll sweep out. They know where the wards are. They've been spotting them out. Freeze and Void are looking to make their move. The binding does not connect. I'm sure if that hit, they would have got all in on that, but decided not to, and it missed. They're going to look for a composition. You know, Orianna with the blue buff can just stay by turrets for days, and Caitlyn has the range to just keep on harassing them down and stay in a relatively safe spot. But Obvious is here, Seigu and Mountain all defending, and Lulu no slouch in defending turrets herself with all the wave push she has from her Good Lance. So, gotta keep that in mind, but Alex has that little lead in CS, but he's nowhere near the gold lead that Prombear has with those 2 kills. He has a Sunfire Cape, so he's able to push, but here comes Ko.
And this time Dragon's Ascent has landed, but is Prombear too strong at this stage? Transcendent Blades comes out, it doesn't look likely. Nice kick away from the tower, and did use that flash just at the end. Shockwave in mid as well, and suddenly the tides are turning, or are they? Because suddenly a Wild Mountain appears, and that was a 1v2 that Power of Evil simply didn't want. Top tower does fall, though.
Okay, so they shut down the Prombear, which is good. They get the kill, they get the turret, and it's well needed, as Alex is one of their better lanes right now to get that fed and just become a huge front line like he already is. The Infinity's Edge is almost done for Freeze, while Steelback did end up getting his first, so he's going to be able to trade those crits much more effectively until she gets hers. And Dragon is coming up in 40 seconds, so we got to keep that in mind for both sides, as they'll both want to get that objective. Very important at this point. And Faculty already have the first one, so definitely want to get a second one under their belt. Infinity's Edge now completed for Freeze. What are the major items we're going to be picked up here? It looks like Ko looking for a really aggressive bout with 2 more long swords in his inventory, so could look for a Brutalizer or something like that, or a Phage. I don't know what he's going for. But Seigu runs into a binding. Ko is there. This is dangerous.
And they're going all in for this kill on Seigu. He still has his wild gold. There we go. Oh, Dragon's Rage. Trying to finish off the kill, but in doing so...
He wanted to kick him back over the ledge.
Exactly. Didn't quite work out. Actually kicked him to safety. So they burnt Soul Shackles. They also burnt the Dragon's Rage. Flash out from Voidal. Does have the command Protect from Orianna. And there's the Exhaust used as well. But this is good timing, honestly, for Faculty. They've used a lot coming out of NIP just as Dragon Spawn. But that's a nice dark binding landing from Voidal. They can't really follow it up. Coop does manage to connect the Sonic Wave, but doesn't want to follow in with the Resonating Strike. And now Freeze has been caught out of position completely. He has no boots. He's very slow. Can he survive? No, he's going to die. And now they're going to turn onto Alex instead, who's at the front line. Shockwave goes in. It's not enough to pick up any kills. In fact, yes, it is just at the death there. Irelia will be falling. Flash in as well from Power of Evil.
All right. So that huge fight was only a 1-for-1. They do kill a real big carry in Freeze, who was kind of just sitting back and passively farming for quite a while. Dragon goes in their favor. They definitely wanted that. 1-for-1 is no problem for them. Trading up Prombear, who secured this kill in himself. And now they back on off. They get the global gold. They have that almost 2,000 gold lead still. Need to get those turrets. The turrets are the big thing for them. They're down 2 turrets. Once they get those, that's where the gold lead will spike. We'll see them pick up the bigger items and make their way down towards more turret pushing. But can't take it away from Nip. They are doing a good job in pushing in themselves. They utilized the game potential that Ko had on Prombear, and they utilize Caitlyn's pushing potential on herself in that bot lane, and snag up that early turret lead. The real question is, though, when is Faculty going to look for those pushes? Because it's getting down to a point where they can just effectively siege once Freeze gets that Static Shiv or his Phantom Dancer.
All 3 outer towers from NIP are 50 or lower % in HP, so they're not going to be too difficult to chunk through, especially when you look at the team that they have. Like, Lucian's very good at tower pushing because of his passive. Fritz and Voidal are playing a bit aggressive here, trying to take away the golems. It was Freeze who got the last hit, so he's going to get the 62 gold from that and the 17 gold from the smaller golem. And looking pretty good, you know. NIP, yes, they're behind on gold, but they're making the right plays when they count, and that's the key point. Now, Seigu, all by his lonesome in mid, does have the cavalry coming in from Obvious. Not really needed just yet, though.
No, not needed just yet at all. So, Ward's coming in a little bit deeper now. That mid turret still standing strong. It's still below half, so one more good 5-man push or 4-man push from Nip will secure it. I want to see them group up and get that, but it's still very hard. Sigu with the Athenes and the blue buff just spams out Glitter Lances and clears the way very easily. Steelback, he actually found himself a lead over Freeze, who was leading him by quite a bit for a while. And he's got a Zeal, he's working towards his possible PDR Shiv. Alex Itch, he's been the unsung hero for a little while. He's got that 30 CS lead over Prawn Bear. And working towards his Blood of the Rune King. So once he gets that, gonna be able to chase him down. It looks like they want to fight him again as pings come in. Ko's gonna make his way over the wall, most likely with the ward jump, and we'll see the gank attempt. Or he can maybe just back out and just prove everything I just said wrong.
It's almost like he can hear you, and he's like, nope, I'm gonna back on away. 3 players strong right now for Faculty or in mid, or at least thinking about the mid push. This tower is just about 50%, 1200 HP out of 2,550, so they're going to push this one now, 3 players strong. But look at that top lane again. Transcendent Blades used from Prombear just to keep himself alive. Dragon's Descent was used in the process over from Alex. And Prombear is like really trying to poke the bear with his stick, and in doing so, ooh, that was close. If that lands, Prombear could be 6 feet under, but no, it just narrowly misses.
If that had landed, definitely would have been a ward jump into a kick. But it would have forced that flash from Prawn Bear or something like that, so they would have got a summoner at least, but he just walks away. Ko's not giving up though. He wants to get this gank off. He's committed to this. Safeguard over the wall, and it looks like Prawn Bear might be dead here.
Yeah, completely dead, completely overextended, and got punished, really. 3, 3, and 2 now are his stats, and that's going to put a bit of the breaker on this mid-pushman Faculty. They now have to play defensive mode, because Jarvan, of course, has to deal with the 2-man push out from NIP because of Prombear's death. 16 more seconds on that death timer.
Nice black shield from Voidal there. Nip, go. He's gonna get initiated on a little bit. I think Obvious was gonna try to one-shot him for sure. he was looking for it. He's hungry.
That damage from Orianna, I'm not sure if you caught that, but Rabadon's death cap finished off already for Power of Evil. His farm 223 at 21 minutes 45. Like, he is chunking hard.
He is... Yeah, he's very strong. Definitely need the cap from Sigu to match that, but he's also almost 60 CS up over his opponent, so... The Power of Evil definitely do the Orianna thing, farming up like a champ, and keeping it strong with the pushing. This tier 1 in the mid lane should fall in this wave, as I think Faculty have to give it up. There's no way they can keep on defending this without being put at a huge risk. If a binding connects to, that's going to be it for that person who gets hit.
Yeah, definitely 100% the case, because it's going to be Dark binding into potentially a shockwave, and that's going to be pretty much G6 for under. This is going to be Prombear though, split pushing. He gets his first tower on the board from Faculty in this game, and oh my goodness, Steelback does get caught there from a distance and gets chunked severely hard. In fact, he has to recall now.
Alright. So. Turret almost down. This will push from Prawn Bear, doing a good job. And Pig's coming out onto that Dragon Pit, as in Faculty and Nip both know it's coming up relatively soon. 50 seconds on that. Freeze left alone. That's going to go down, and that's going to be it for the last of the tier 1s. They're going to rotate over and get set up for that, as they have the wards and the pink wards to get them down. 30 seconds left on Dragon, and Faculty have the window to just go shop and then look to make their way over there. But I don't think Nip feels too safe just yet. They might want to look for a pick off and then go for Dragon, as any other team would. Pink's on a Baron though, as they don't have any wards on that. They're scared that and Faculty might be doing that, as they haven't spotted anybody out of the map for a little while.
And I'm getting the same kind of problem from Faculty that they show in DreamHack, where even when they're ahead, sometimes they play like they're behind. And this is one of the reasons I actually threw one of the games in the group stages and went 2-1. Because they had the advantage by a few thousand gold. In this case, obviously, it's not quite that much. But they're playing so passive that they're allowing NIP to pull themselves back in this game. They're allowing NIP to get objectives. And in fact, this Dragon could be falling down as a result. Doing a nice job of keeping them at arm's distance. But there you go. Irelia picks up a dragon, sorry, a tower for a dragon, and now they're going to be engaging. Ku in the front line, so is going to be picked up with ease. There's the soul shackles on top of it. And that's Prombe getting caught out by that one. Shockwave lands on 3. That was massive, but Power of Evil's taking loads of damage as a result of it. Nice death sentence. Jumping back on towards Alex Ich. He's going to fall. And now they turned it back around on Freeze, who's going to be able to put down some auto attacks, pretty much full HP.
Ace in the hole,
Ace in the hole comes out, does get blocked off from Sigu, who flashes. Good guy Sigu, bodyguard mode on. And he just about keeps his AD carry alive.
Sigu definitely kept that fight from going heavily in the favor of Nip, despite it being even nonetheless. But the Power of Evil hit a perfect 3-man shockwave. They couldn't follow up though, because Alex Ich got peeled off nicely by a Mountain. Just a very, very even fight, and that gives you a great sign at where these teams are right now. Sigu though getting a little low, has to be careful. And Nip did secure that dragon, so it was a bit of a win for them, despite it being 2-2 in the fight. 2 for 2, excuse me. And that'll be the 3rd dragon of the game going over to Nip, despite him losing 2 prior. So, good job to Ko. And it's the 1,000 gold lead, still in Faculty's favor. 3 to 2 in turrets in favor of Nip. So, Ko looking to be a little aggressive here. Might actually try to steal away this blue buff, but he might pay for it, which would be the big problem. So, gotta keep an eye on that for now. But steal back, evening up the turrets, takes it out. And obvious spots out Ko. He's a little alone right now, so he's gonna back off. He's not gonna go in. He shouldn't go in.
No, if he goes in, he's gonna find himself in a very sticky situation, because you can see the players starting to congregate from Faculty on the blue buff itself. Pings down towards bot lane, so obviously it's a big wave that is very much ripe for the taking for Caitlyn. So Freeze is gonna oblige and pick all of them up. Needs to be a bit careful. Prombez here stands on top of a trap and does show his position. But what I was going to say before is a lot of the eggs have to fall into the Lucian basket here. 4 and 0 has massive items. If he dies first in a fight, that's pretty much the fight over for Faculty. So they're going to have to peel for him here. They want a chance to win this match.
Yes. Peeling is going to be key, and that is what Thresh lives for. Just to peel people off. Flaying, death sentencing, boxing, even pulling people away with lanterns, so... If they get the correct peel and the correct fight, it should be easy peasy for them. PD was completed with that IE, so let's see, how much crit percentage does he have right now? Currently at 55% crit chance, so 1 and 2 shots could crit. It's all RNG based. We'll see if Steelback can get those off. Same almost done for Freeze though, so gotta keep a watchful eye out for him. Then they'll look for the last whispers and try to just shred through these tanks. Prombear and Alex Ich, definitely the 2 targets that need to be peeled the most for both sides. And probably just drop a Black Shield on or Freeze and they should be okay, but Sigu, he's got the cap now, he's got the Athenes, he can just blow that off in 1 shot. While Ko may get caught out here, gets stunned up, and they might try to chase this one out. His 10 style is activated.
Oh, Dragon's Rage was used to keep himself alive. There's a Glittlance though. Jump back on again to get the kill. That did look like he may have lagged. I'm not sure. They've not called the pause just yet. So that maybe he was just resigned to his fate there, that he was going to die.
He had no flash, no kick, and his safeguard was on cooldown, so
kind of screwed. Yeah, he's just like, okay, I'm dead, guys, you got me. And because of the fact that the jungler is dead, there's no smite available right now for NIP. They're going to be starting off on the Baron. This is going to be a sticky situation, though. If Orianna gets a good shockwave off, how much do they want this fight? That's the question. The answer is enough to pick up the Baron. And the shockwave, honestly, didn't do that much work. They went on top of Baron itself. They pick up 3 kills as a result. And that was all from Code being caught completely needlessly.
All right, well, that Baron goes over. He tried to shockwave the steal. The Power People was not that close. He ended up putting it in a really good smite range for Obvious, and that goes down. Tier 2 is going to follow suit, and maybe an inhibitor. They'll use that Baron regen to just stay in the fight, keep on going through. Alright, and Faculty, again. They take an objective over Nip, and they're going to look to push it for an inhibitor, and Freeze can't stop them, Ko can't stop them. They're respawning, but not in time. As there's the first inhibitor of the game going down, and just like that, Faculty just snowball off that huge objective. They're pinging out, they see Ko, And they might try to chase him out and look for a kill, but they'll kill the pink ward instead.
It just goes to show at League of Legends, at this level of play, if you make one mistake, it can really backfire. It can absolutely devastate your team. Co got caught, they lost Baron, they lost, what was that, 2 towers and inhibitor as well. Just a huge spike in gold for the side and faculty. Like, just a few players over 2,000 gold. Lulu on 2.7k as well. So that's the last Whisper now finished off on Lucian. Void Staff on Lulu. Zephyr on Irelia. And they're going to come back stronger than ever. This is a very difficult game now for NIP to win.
They're definitely on the back foot. It's going to be like that for a little while until they can find a perfect shockwave into like some godly initiation. Frozen Heart was picking up by Voidal. I'm not too sure what I think about that. He could have had Mikkel's or something like that to peel off a Thresh Hook or a Slow or just heal up anybody in general. But looking for the attack speed reduction definitely helps against Prawn Bear, definitely helps against the standard that Jarvan's going to throw out, and can stop Lucian just a little bit. So overall, it's a well thought out pick of an item. So gotta see how it works out in the team fight though, as with how far behind they are, it looks like without the health, the armor's nice and everything, but he's still lacking in the health, and he could still get bursted out pretty quickly, as they're looking for the next dragon here from the side of Faculty. They're starting it up. Nip was looking for some kind of response to it, but it looks like they're going to get caught out.
Q caught once again. Dragon's Rage this time does knock up Mountain, but that's going to be another objective for Faculty. And yeah, it's an interesting pickup. I guess you do get 20% cooldown reduction, which is going to allow the Soul Shackles and Dark Bindings to come up thicker and faster, but I do agree, still a very squishy support coming through into this game. Now looking to push to bot lane, which is the smart choice, because obviously Super Means will be pushing top, someone has to deal with them, so in theory they should be at least a player or two behind. And in actual fact, they're going to get this one without any contestation whatsoever.
Yep, and it should be a free route over to an inhibitor. So they're going to just keep on pushing through. They could just tank it up. Obvious is huge. And they just let Prawn Bear do what he wants. He's pushing down mid. He's going to get a tier 2 pretty much uncontested himself. Finding connects not obvious, but look at that. He doesn't care. He shrugs it off. He's got all the magics in the world. He's got Locket. He's got Hex Drinker. Didn't even pick up Merc Treads. He just didn't care.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Oh man, this is quickly spiraling out of control for Ninjas in Pyjamas. Look at this, it's a 2-2-1 formation, although Lucian is now moving across alongside Jarvan, but they're constantly pushing all the lanes, they're constantly keeping things happening, they're keeping NIP busy, they're not giving them any respite whatsoever. They're now going back in again. Steelback is going to chomp through this tower pretty aggressively. Freeze takes a lot of damage as well. I think that was from one Glitter Lance.
Yeah. So now they're going to dive in here.
Oh, they do. Cataclysm lands on top of Freeze, who was already weakened beforehand. They do manage, actually, to do a lot of damage to Obvious. Nice Shockwave comes in, does keep his AD carry alive, but now Boydle will be falling down. Ace in the hole, once again, is not quite enough. And that's going to be the second inhibitor tower falling, and it should be the inhibitor afterwards.
That's the second time Steelback has been able to survive thanks to his flash and someone else blocking the shot. And they just go in on Ko. They take him out. Teleports are coming in. They're going to be able to push down this inhibitor. They're going to be able to dive on a freeze. Slow comes in, but Prawn Bear's not able to catch up. Death Sentence does not connect. Inhibitor goes down. That's the second one of the game, and I think they're going to back on out. They're not going to continue the push. They got to be careful, though. Power of Evil does have that ball, and yeah, they'll just back out, spend all the golds, and they're looking really good to end this game.
And as all that was happening, Superman needs managed to destroy one of the Nexus towers as well. So they just get scarier and scarier from Ninjas in Pyjamas. Recalls coming about, plenty of gold to spend, and going for the Vampiric Scepter now is Lucian. So what do you reckon? Maybe a Blade of the Rune King for him?
For who?
For Lucian, maybe?
Oh, Lucian? Yeah, sure. That'd be pretty good. I don't see him getting a Bloodthirster. Like that item just seems to have phased out after the changes. It lost what, 30 extra damage after the nerf? Oh, never mind, they're going into Voidal.
Oh, Voidal, well, that Black Shield's not going to help against Cataclysm. You're still well and truly stuck in. He is surviving for a pretty long time, but he is still going to die. There we go. Yeah. Irelia takes it down. Prawn Bear moves 4 and 3. And this gold advantage and just the map advantage as well, going further and further in Faculty's favour. Ku's been caught again. Dragon's Rage Prawn Bear back towards Alex and Power of Evil, but Prawn Bear is too scary right now to deal with.
Yeah, they're just face taking this turret. They don't care. Death doesn't connect. Baron's up in a minute though. It's something to keep in mind if they want to go for that. Maybe just if they want to look to throw the game, they could go for Baron. But just keeping the push in their base is what they should be doing. And this inhibitor did respawn, so it should be a fairly simple take for them. Do have to watch out for the positioning of the ball though. That shockwave could be very crucial. And they're starting the fight.
They do. Alex gets shockwave with Tolman, but it just hits Prombear. And again, that's a huge ability no longer available. Freeze has to run away. Culling came through as well from Steel back. That's going to be Power of Evil falling alongside the inhibitor. And that's pretty much going to be game unless something crazy happens with 50 seconds on your Fed AP mid. Oh, Freeze gets decimated. The Nexus is vulnerable. They're going to be going for it right here, right now, ladies and gents. And that's going to be a 2-0 victory to Faculty over Ninjas in Pyjamas.
Well, that puts Ninjas in Pyjamas in the losers bracket. And they'll be able to go against Keat Stars.